Hey, this is a bit jarring for me and my relaxed wear. Yeah, when you work from home and when you have a kid, this is what you wear 90% of the time. That AI art with me in a suit. Those days have long gone, and I'm happy about that. Look, this isn't a hack. This isn't a secret to unlocking millions of commissions or whatever every clickbait title is in sales. This is a reminder of what good salespeople do when they're succeeding. And a helpful hint about what's probably fallen off if you're in a slump. Everybody knows Glengarry Glen Ross ABCs of closing, of sales always be closing. It was on my mind. That's why I went that way. But that's not what we're talking about today. I am going to give you a quick tip of what you've probably forgotten if you're in a bit of a slump. If you find that people that had great discovery discussions with you about your product, but for some reason they're just not agreeing with you or not listening to you uh, about their issues, about their pain points, or if you find that your closes should have happened but they're not happening and they're dragging on for too long, this is for you. This is a different ABC. And this is something I've learned from way back. Okay, a tiny bit about my pedigree. Just a bit. I've been in sales for 20 odd years and I've been in about 7 different industries. We're talking, in my youth, door to door, telecom, electronics. And as I got older, financial advisory. What else did we do? My gosh, fitness, big box fitness, and software as a service, enterprise wise, as well as SMB and small market entry level. So I have 4 different projects in software as a service, and in every single environment I've been in the top 2 to top 3. I don't think I have the drive to care about being the top 1 guy all the time because I value my personal time. So take that for what it is. But I've never been lazy and I've never not been competitive with myself. And for the most part, I never took shortcuts. When I was younger, I had some, especially in the door to door industry, I had some bad motivators around me that tried to push you to take shortcuts. And I kind of learned from the wrong people, but learned my mistakes. It went 180, many years ago. And from then on, all I really cared about was making sure that my customers are listened to and that their pain points are addressed and that my product is as good a fit as possible. So all that is to say, if you're having some issues, if you're in a bit of a slump, if some of the things I described earlier is happening to you, you're missing one point. You're missing one part, one aspect of ABC. And the ABC I'm talking about is actually to agree, to bounce, and to close. Bounce meaning to handle an objection, to bounce it. So most people either forget the A or forget the C when they fall into a slump. Let's give you an example. When you're handling objections from a customer and you agree with them, I agree, that sounds like that could be an issue, probably because of this. Well, you're going to be on equal footing. There's no argument. Let me just make sure my kid's not making noises. He's down for a nap and he's got his first cold, so he's all snotty and irritable. Yeah, back on track. So if you agree with your customer, and sometimes that alone will set them aback a little bit because they're giving you an objection as to why they might not want to buy your product, and you agree with them, typically it can surprise them. But what it does is it puts you on equal footing for the next step, which is bouncing the objection. So you could say something along the lines of, I agree for whatever reason. Most people that have that problem that you have deal with it this way, and this is how we deal with it. So personally, I don't think it'll be a problem. Does that make sense to you? And then you close. Okay, well, if it's now no longer an issue, let's move forward. I'm being very vague for obvious reasons because I'm not using examples, but all 3 of those things need to happen. When you don't agree with someone, your whole conversation about their objective starts off in an argument because they're here, you're here, and you don't see eye to eye. And you're just saying, well, I can handle that. I can fix that with this. This is how I fix that problem. But no one's going to listen to you about fixing their problem if you haven't agreed with them first. It's just like arguing with your significant other. It's kind of necessary to agree first, to see someone's point of view before you move on. The bounce is usually something that people don't forget. I mean, if you're forgetting that, then you're not really trying to sell anything. Your heart's not in it. But yeah, bounce the objective and then close. Don't let it hang. Don't sit there. A lot of people will do that. They'll wait for the sale to close itself. Maybe you've been told no so many times recently that you just don't have the energy in you to close, to ask again, to be persistent, to handle the same objection in 3 or 4 different ways before you move on. By the way, that's what you should be doing. Don't just handle it once. Come at it from 3 different angles. If you can't come at it from 3 different angles and still get a close out of it, then that might be a deal breaker and you might have to move on. But you always check in with them. So that close, what happens is if you forget it, is you just sort of hang there. You agree, you handle the objection, and then you stare at them, hoping that they'll close itself. But what their mind does is looks for a new objection, looks for a new reason. And if you don't close that, you don't close that loop, and it will continue and continue, and it's not going to close itself. So this is just a simple reminder. If you are having problems handling objections, if you're not sure why things aren't closing, if you're not sure why people don't seem to be listening or agreeing with you, then you're probably not doing all 3 parts. There's a lot of other stuff we can talk about in sales in the future, a lot of reasons why people buy, a lot of discussions you can have for discovery. This is not the only way to sharpen your saw, as they say, but it's a big one, and it's served me well many times. So I thought I'd bring it up. Thanks so much for listening. You have a great day.